Good evening, sir. I hope you're not disturbing your nightly sleep. Oh, please do not be frightened by otherworldly appearance. Contrary to what you might believe, we have not come to instill fright within you. We are here to ask you for a simple question. Would you consider yourself a good and neighborly citizen? I should take your bewildered look as an answer in the affirmative. Since this is, of course, more of a rhetorical question, naturally, most of the local residents would consider themselves to be a good and honest citizen of this beautiful town. But not all of them are willing to take action when it comes to preserving our values and the peace of this community. This is precisely why we are here today. Sir, you see, unbeknownst to the majority of this town, there is a great injustice happening right in front of all of our eyes. No, thank you kindly, sir, but we do not wish to partake in the sweets you are offering. No, we are certainly not. Must I remind you that you don't even have a tongue? Besides, candies are bad for your teeth. My name is Leah, and this is Bonnie. Fellow to my left is called Fergus. As you may be able to tell, we no longer count ourselves among the living, as both of us have met our separate ends in the most violent manner. I am aware that due to the time and date that we chose to visit you, you might be of the impression that we are but regular mortals dressed up in very convincing costumes to elect treats from unsuspecting citizens under threat of having a practical joke played on you, but rest assured, we are most certainly dead, or undead, to be precise. Obviously, this must come as a shock to you, seeing as most folks these days do not believe in the existence of the supernatural, but as Fergus will attest, ghosts, skeletons, and zombies and the like are very much reality. At least he would attest to it if he had still had vocal cords. Oh, please, go ahead and tell him yourself then. Oh, right, you can't. You know very well that I can't hold the clipboard. How dare you bring that up? Do you even know what's that like? To never be able to touch anything ever again? Try as I might, I can't even scratch my own. I'm very sorry, sir. Please accept my sincerest apologies. But this is certainly no laughing matter. And no, this is neither an elaborate joke, nor a theatrical play, as you so put it. As a matter of fact, Fergus and myself have come before you this very day to ask you for your support in the most serious matter. Are you aware that tonight, All Hallows Eve, the spirits and the souls of those passed away are able to walk the earth once more? Every year, on the same day, we and many, many others receive a chance to be perceived by and interact with many living, almost as if we are still part of this world. The many of us who are stuck on the side, so to speak, are also to move freely for the most of the month of October. I must ask you to refrain from such questions, as I'm not allowed to reveal any more details about the potential afterlife that might await for you after your passing. Trust me, this is one of the most important passages in our union contract. Also, it is highly likely dependent on the way you might have lived your life, as well as the circumstances that lead to your inevitable passing. All you need to know is that Fergus and I are here tonight because of this very special circumstance, as I'm usually confined to a certain graveyard, and sorry, Fergus, I don't even know where you spend your days. How mature of you. I was afraid that you might not be willing to believe us right away, so I asked your permission for a little demonstration. Okay, thank you, sir. Please remain completely still. Oh my, such colorful language! Though I suspect that this is a more common way to express oneself these days. We certainly did not know any of these words 300 years ago. And, as you so vividly described, I was able to reach my arm straight through you. I'm told that this also creates a sensation of excessive coldness within the mortals. Do not be frightened, though. This is only temporary. Mayhaps you have also noticed the fact that I'm actually floating a bit off the ground, and that I'm slightly transparent. Do we need to prove ourselves further? We don't? Wonderful. That makes things easier for all of us. See, Fergus, that nice man believes us. There's no need for further proof. Fine, I shall ask. Sir, would you be still interested in a demonstration from Fergus? I had a feeling you were. Alright, Fergus, you have your audience. Go ahead. Oh, I know how much you've waited for a chance to show off your juggling skills. I just think it's a tad... Never mind. The stage is all yours, then. No, I can't hold the clipboard. How many times... Sir, would you please hold the clipboard for him? Thank you. Fergus, say thank you for the applause. And yes, I believe it is quite the show to see a skeleton juggle with his own bones. I just wish you wouldn't finish by adding his skull to the mix. It seems a bit morbid, to be honest. Well, I believe we should turn back to the matter at hand. You see, those of us who are stuck in this mortal plane, but are unable to interact with it, for the most part, highly enjoy the freedom that this month, and especially this day, provides for us. We are once again allowed to roam the town that we so love and cherish, as well as perceive the ones going on into people. One particular fact about this day, however, threatens the little enjoyment of ours, and that is the way that Halloween has come to be known, is being celebrated these days. For this reason, we have finally decided to take action. We have agreed almost unanimously to petition the mayor to implement a stricter regimen for what is to be allowed on this special day, as well as regulations for inclusivity. Yes, as I said, most of us were in this agreement to come forward and reveal ourselves for this town, because we were so disturbed by the customs that had developed for this holiday. As you can see on the clipboard we're holding in our hands, we have three major issues to address. Firstly, a regulation on the overly excessive consumption of alcohol beverages. As I'm not sure you're aware, alcohol greatly inhibits your ability to make the right decision and may lead you to inappropriate behavior, injury, or overly graphic displays of affection. Why, yes, it may be the case that the need to feel closer to your fellow mortal is inherent in most humans, but the way that this is embraced these days is just highly inappropriate in our eyes. Yes, Fergus, I know that you did not agree on this particular point, but you do agree that drinking too much is bad for you, don't you? You see, Fergus here was a fisherman a long, long time ago. He actually died because he was drinking pretty much all the time, and one particular night decided to go out in the sea while drunk. He only returned 7 years later to his wife. He had promised he would always return to, come hell or high water, and return he did. The way he looks now, can you imagine the look on his wife's face? Well, she was horrified, and even like this, even after 7 years, he was still drunk. He made a right mess in her kitchen, and eventually she threw him out. Ever since, he's forced to roam. Well, you know what, this is going nowhere. Let us get back on track. Our second demand is a ban on overly presumptuous costumes. Now, I'm aware that this may seem a little draconic, but please give me a chance to explain. Such costumes are prone to further encourage inappropriate behavior, and many of us realize that times have changed, but there are also those amongst us who are very much disturbed by the way that they are displayed by those who chose to wear these things. I mean, you must have noticed yourself that every other costume is just a sensualized version of another normal Halloween costume. And they're so often lazy as well. We used to enjoy seeing the different interpretations of what the living might think an actual ghost looks like, or a zombie, or even a Grim Reaper himself. Fergus, I swear to God, if you don't stop with those snarky remarks, I'm gonna... What? Oh, darn it. Yeah, you got me. I'm not some 18th century maid. I was murdered in my Halloween costume some 30 years ago. Happy? I know I am. I can finally stop with the "oh heavens me" and the "wouldn't thou mayhaps partake in the crumpets" kind of talk. Because it's embarrassing. I gotta wear this for the rest of my life. I mean, whatever. Listen, man. This petition is serious, alright? costumes these days are lazy as hell. We want to see some real creativity. If you're gonna make fun of us, at least. We really want to have some fun on Halloween too, you know? The others decided to send out a couple of us to get some signatures, and I guess they thought, let's put her together with a drunkard and they'll get some for sure. You know, I didn't mean that, Fergus. I'm just annoyed by all of this. Going door to door wasn't exactly how I planned to spend eternity, you know? And no one so far has even been willing to listen to us. But what? You actually want to hear our third demand? Well, if you want, the third one is actually the one that is most important to me personally, you know? We want a party too. We want some inclusiveness for the mortally inconvinced, and we know it's going to take a lot of time and work to get people to get used to us, but we can't help but miss the days we were alive, so if the people of this town would be willing to give it a try, I think we could enjoy each other's company. Oh, thank you, sir. It does sound nice, doesn't it? It might be too optimistic, but the one thing we might have in abundance is time. Well, I know that the first 2 points on the list don't exactly fit your values, but would you still consider signing a petition? Which of them are actually implemented is still the mayor's decision after all, but, I mean, if he doesn't kick the bucket as soon as the bunch of undead storm to his office tomorrow. Okay, what condition? You want us to stay for your Halloween party? Oh, are you sure? Don't you think that's a bit fast? Your friends don't know about us yet, after all, and we still have to get as many signatures as we can. Do you really think that your friends would sign the petition as well? Oh, I guess we could join you then, don't we? And look, I'm already wearing my costume. What would you think, Fergus? I can't believe you right now. You have such a dirty mind, you old drunk. Man, just be ready to juggle again. I know how much you enjoy an audience. Well, I guess we are staying. You gonna invite us in or what? Let's go.